I want to thank you for joining us today. I know that it's probably a tough time wherever you're at. We're filming these once a week and being strategic on when we film. And I'm filming this on Wednesday, March 18th. Things have kind of gotten pretty intense. And as we both know, every day there's new information. We're going to do the best that we can to provide content for you, to support you, to stand with you, to help you not feel alone. We're all starting to feel a sense of quarantine, and restaurants are shutting down. It's just a difficult time. I was sitting around the table with my kids just last night, and I said, guys, this is frustrating for all of us. I've never lived through something like this, nor have you. So you got to be patient. The answers that you're getting are more no than yes. No, you can't go here. No, I don't want you to go there. No, we're not going to do that. No, we're not going here. And so I said, this is a difficult time for all of us. And when you are walking through infidelity, whether you found out a year ago, a month ago, a few days ago, the intensity of your life is probably off the chart. I come from faith, and so I just want you to know, for people that reach out to me, myself and a team, we're praying for you. If you don't come from faith, I want you to know that I'm thinking about you. I try and interact with all the people that comment on my videos, whether it be at affairrecovery.com or Twitter or YouTube or even Instagram. It's essential that you know that you're not alone right now, but you probably feel more alone than ever. And when you add in the extreme measures that we're having to take as a society, regardless of what continent you're on, it gets a little scary. But I can tell you that my producer and I are going to be here and do everything that we can to support you. And today I want to talk to you about emotional affairs. People ask me all the time, Samuel, what do you think? What do you think? Give me the honest answer. Is an emotional affair worse or better than a physical affair? And people ask me all the time. Unfaithfuls will say, it was just an emotional affair. There wasn't even sex. Why is he or she freaking out? Or why is it so wounding? Why can't they just understand it was just an emotional affair? And so today I want to talk to you about those concerns, give you some pointers, and kind of help you walk through this difficult chapter. The first thing I'm going to tell you, and this is going to hurt if you're an unfaithful spouse, this is going to comfort you if you're a betrayed spouse, but I am going to be very direct because it needs to be said. The absence of sexual involvement does not minimize the effect of devastation upon a betrayed spouse, male or female. For a betrayed spouse, even though it was an emotional affair, they are still devastated. They have still had their world completely wrung out and rocked. To think that the fact that you did not have physical intimacy with the affair partner minimizes the impact and devastation upon their heart, their life, their soul is absolutely a farce. The reality is an emotional affair to many betrayed spouses hurts just as much as a physical affair, and to many it hurts more than a physical affair. You might say, why does it hurt more than a physical affair? For some amount of people, some amount of betrayed spouses, if you will, they're less concerned about where you put your genitals. They're more concerned about what you did with your heart, with the intimate secrets of your life, with the deep, dark emotions of your heart and of your soul, your fears, your desires, your wants, your personhood. They're more concerned, they're more wrapped up in what you did with all of that, rather than the sexual acts that you may have committed with an affair partner. The truth is, everybody's different. Some betrayed spouses are absolutely devastated at an emotional affair worse than physical. Some maybe are not as devastated by emotional affairs compared to physical. That doesn't matter. What matters is that you understand that an emotional affair can be absolutely gut-wrenching for a betrayed spouse. If you're an unfaithful, you may say, but Sam, I don't get it. It was just talking. It was just text messages. Well, it was probably hundreds, if not thousands of text messages. It wasn't probably just conversation. It was probably pretty electrified conversation. It might have been sexual as well as emotional. It might have been the deepest, darkest, intimate secrets of your heart that you have failed to share with your spouse, but you shared them with your affair partner. Peggy Vaughn, who was one of the leading pioneers in research regarding infidelity, passed away a few years ago. But she made this comment, and she said, anytime you have to put a just in front of the word friends when you're describing a relationship is toxic, is a red flag. So you might say we were just friends. If you have to put that there, it's probably not accurate. That friendship probably spilled over into an intimacy that should have been reserved just for your spouse or significant other. Now, at this point, I'll take a much needed time out because I can hear the unfaithfuls raging, saying, but Sam, I wanted to share these things with my spouse or partner. I wanted to be this intimate with them. They were busy. They weren't open. They didn't care. They judged me. They shamed me. They didn't want to hear these things. This is a difficult conversation. The truth of the matter is that may have been the case. That in no way justifies you going outside the marriage or relationship to establish a new bond with someone else. There could have been a litany of things that you had done. You could have gone to counseling. You could have demanded counseling. You could have done a separation. I mean, we could talk for an hour about all the things that you could have done, and maybe you tried some of them and they didn't work. But the fact is, if you're endeavoring to save your relationship until you own the fact that the impact of an emotional affair is equally as devastating, if not more, than a physical affair, your spouse or significant other is never going to hear you. They're never going to listen to you. They're not going to objectively hear your concerns. They're not going to be willing to have that discussion with you because you keep minimizing it. As long as you minimize it, I promise you, because I tried it early on, within the first few weeks, a month, I tried to minimize it. As long as I minimized it, I never was able to gain safety with Samantha. I was never able to earn a place that one day down the road, I was then able to say, you know, Samantha, I didn't share those things with you because I felt judged or I felt like you didn't care or A, B, and C. Yes, I felt those things, but I didn't have a place to share those things until roughly close to 6 months down the road when we had started to really gain some momentum. We were getting expert help. I had owned it. I had been willing to take all the anger, all the pain, all the hurt, and listen to Samantha. And I had been taught that until I was a safe place for Samantha's anger, and until I was safe enough to hear her concerns and own the impact, she would never be able to have the discussion of, you know, I could have been a little bit more A, B, and C, but none of that would ever justify me cheating. It was just repairing the marriage. It was building a new marriage. It was starting a new marriage. It was generating new momentum. Doesn't mean that what I did was okay or will ever be okay. It just meant, hey, if we want to have the marriage that we want to have, here's some changes we both are going to have to make moving forward. This is a tough conversation. That same pioneer researcher, Peggy Vaughn, made another incredible statement that said, emotional affairs are just physical affairs that haven't gotten physical yet. To think that we are going to be incredibly intimate with another human being and have it just be something that our spouse can just slough off like, yeah, it wasn't that bad. It doesn't work that way. That is not how a betrayed spouse, male or female, feels or thinks. They're not able to absorb that and just move on down the road. Here's a few characteristics to think about in terms of describing an emotional affair. Number one, there's been boundary violations and a part of your life that has only been reserved for your spouse or significant other has been shared with another male or female. Next, you've become more emotional. You've become more intimate. You've started to share more with your affair partner than you have with your spouse. That's typically how an emotional affair gains momentum, is you are now finding more safety in another man or woman than you are with your spouse. Next, we the unfaithful become far more protective of the affair partner than we do our spouse. The reason for that is at some level there's resentment and bitterness, unresolved anger towards our spouse, But there's also this limerence, this infatuatory love or concern, this desire, this overwhelming concern for our affair partner that starts to occupy space and time far more than our spouse because we feel like, well, they're so X, Y, and Z. I'll just focus on someone that loves me and cares for me and is equally concerned, if not more concerned, about me. It is the deception, the self-deception that we've built up inside ourselves. Another point of devastation for the betrayed spouse when it comes to affairs that are emotional is that the affair partner, and I think this is one of the most wounding realities, the affair partner gets to see into the marriage and see its weaknesses, its failures, its difficulties, its embarrassing moments, its vulnerabilities, but the spouse never gets to really see into the relationship that the spouse has with the affair partner. And that is not a level playing field. It's devastating, it's embarrassing, it's humiliating for the spouse to know that another person has been able to see into that marriage and have it all be laid open and bare for the affair partner to see. And the mistrust, the broken trust, the broken sense of covenant and oneness has been shattered. And so the affair partner gets to see all this, but the spouse, the significant other, doesn't get to see into the relationship with the affair partner. Today's a tough conversation. It's vital that you understand that emotional affairs are devastating. The good news is you can heal from them. The good news is you can absolutely regain intimacy. You can reclaim your relationship. You can reclaim that intimacy. It's not easy and it's not overnight. You can absolutely do it. I know that it seems like we'll never get that back. Well, here's my answer. You may not get those years back, but you can get new years back. You can get new emotional intimacy. You can get new physical intimacy. I promise you it can be reclaimed. It'll take work, it'll take expert care, but it's more than possible.